Guys, before we get into the video, I want you to know that you should be following us on Instagram and tagging your pictures, I'm a Gearist. That's IMAGEARIST. That way you can be featured on our Instagram feed and you'll see your very own picture right here on Gearist TV one of these days. So be sure to hashtag I'm a Gearist and follow us on Instagram at the Gearist, or just click this button right on my face. Now let's get into the review of this pretty jacket right here. What's up guys, Brandon here from Gearist.com. Today we're going to be breaking down the Helium II jacket from Outdoor Research. As I film this today, it is already October 6th, 2015. Can you believe it? And while we do have the last vestiges of some warm weather hanging around here in the Front Range of Colorado, it is already getting snowy up in the high country. And when we choose to head up to terrains like that, and when we choose to head up to zones like that, you never know how quickly the weather's going to roll up on you, because it could be as quickly as 15 minutes and you won't even see it coming. That's why it's important and smart to have a lightweight jacket that can handle rain, it can handle cold, it can handle all these things and get you from point A to point B safely and soundly. That's why today we're going to take a look at this jacket, which gets you all those things in a sub 7-ounce package. So let's get into it. The Helium II jacket is made fully from Pertex Shield Plus 2.5 layer fabric, which is really the crux of this jacket, since again, that is what takes up the entirety of the piece itself. This material is super breathable, but also fully waterproof, which makes it ideal for things such as backcountry hiking, cycling, running, you name it, anything in the transitional season. This is a great piece to have along for the ride. This is one of those jackets that whenever I go out on an adventure in any situation, I'm probably going to have it with me. Now, granted, maybe not when it's 90 degrees plus, but again, in these transitional seasons, if I'm going to go to the high country where something could come in at kind of the drop of a hat, I'm going to be able to have this in my pack, whatever that is. If it's a running pack, it can be there with me. Otherwise, I could have it in a full-on backpack, and this is not going to take up a lot of space or a lot of weight, since it comes in at 6.4 ounces. The amount of weight that it takes up at worst is minimal, and again, I have taken this on several trail runs with me and kind of some cooler climbs and things like that, and it just sits right there in my hydration pack, doesn't take up hardly any space, it really doesn't jostle, and it packs into its own pouch. The pouch comes to us in the way of this little pocket right here, kind of around the left side love handle area, and all that it is a really quick Velcro pouch, and you just stuff the jacket right down into that pocket. It folds over and seals out. In fact, I wonder if I can do it while I'm just talking to you guys about this jacket. Another thing that's great about this is it's got this little hook right on the outside here. This guy, which can hook to a carabiner or any kind of other clip that you might want to have it to. If you've got a key clip on the inside of a backpack or something, that's also a great spot to use it. And there we go. Yeah, looks like I did get that folded over for you. So now fully in its stuff sack, this is how big the thing is. Not big at all, probably about the size of a sandwich, give or take, maybe a little bit thicker. That'd be a good barbecue sandwich or something there. But this is really, again, going to take up very little space, and it's 6.4 ounces. It really just doesn't weigh anything. Now, since this jacket is all about lightweight utility, some of the features are actually quite Spartan, but they're very functional. So let's take a look at them one by one. The first thing we're going to take a look at is the hood of this jacket, which, as you can see here, is really very generous, almost too generous, one would say, but we're going to talk about how to address that. It's also large enough to fit over a lot of helmets or under a lot of helmets. It's got a stiffened brim right up front here to keep rain rolling off the head. Now, there are no strings, as you'll notice, no cincher cords kind of where you would expect them to be right here. Rather, what they've done is something that's very unique. They've taken this little guy back here. Now, what this does is that this little cord on the back side of the hood, it attaches into strings, cincher cords right here that go up toward the face and then attach from here to here. So when you tighten this, which only takes one hand tightening, you don't need two hands to do it, you just pull it, and it's going to pull that snug around your head, and that's going to cinch it this way, it's going to cinch it this way, and basically make it fit exactly how you want it to fit. Really ingenious way to fit this, and again, it keeps one more thing off of this thing. If you had these lateral stringers or these lateral cinch cords, you would have additional weight, you'd have an additional piece to worry about. This way keeps everything out of the way, one nice succinct way to get everything cinched down nicely. The sleeves of the Helium II jacket, as you can see here, have a half elastic cuff that basically means that this half is not elastic and this half under here is elastic. Now, on the one hand, this allows for a lot of flexibility to have kind of a longer, more puffy sleeve under here, or even put this over top of a glove if you wind up in a situation like that. While there is no adjustability, I didn't really find it to be a problem. However, if you're climbing or something where you've got to reach up and over your head like this, you may find water sneaking in there since there's no way to truly seal that out. The Helium II jacket has two pockets, sort of. Now what I mean by that is the first pocket is that stuff sack pocket, which I told you about a second ago, which is right back there. The second pocket, which is much more functional, is this guy right here, which you can see is sealed by a waterproof external zipper. You can see there is a waterproof pocket fully made out of that Pertex Shield plus 2.5 layer fabric. What's great about this is it's a fantastic place to put a phone or a wallet or something like that because it is fully waterproof from the inside and the outside, so it's going to keep that sweat out of there and things like that and keep the water from the outside. The downside to this is that if you want to, say, listen to music with headphones or something, there is no audio port on the inside to allow that headphone cord to come through. So unless you're working with Bluetooth or some other wireless protocol, you're not going to really be able to use that to its fully waterproof purpose. The other thing is that I really often balk at waterproof pockets. They freak me out a little bit and I'm really reticent to put my very expensive phone in there. So what I did in the case of this, and what I do in the case of a lot of things like this, is I'll take a paper towel or a napkin or a tissue where I can really see water very well, and I'll put it in there during activity to see that it's really and truly sealed out without having the risk of ruining my phone. And in this case, I have to say that this did a very good job. And I had it in really rainy conditions a couple times. It did a just excellent job. However, I will caution you that if you are worried about your device, your phone, or what have you, I would put it inside of a Ziploc bag or something before putting it in any waterproof pocket, just to be doubly sure. Not to call into question the quality of the product or the claims that it makes, but just to be super certain. The main zipper of the Helium jacket, this guy right here, is fully sealed and fully waterproof. So that's going to keep water off of your body, which again is the whole point of this entire jacket. On all the zippers and all the pulls on this, particularly the zippers, they're nice and long. I found this to work really well even with gloved hands. If you've got a glove or even a mitten, this is plenty large. I mean, you can see that's probably 1.5 inches long right there, and it's got a really nice sized and kind of textured pull tab on it to really be able to grip it nicely. The same goes for the pull tabs on the back of the hood, which I mentioned a second ago, and right down here around the hem, which only take one hand to cinch up. This is really optimal for when you're using this in situations where you don't really want to stop and mess with two hands, or you have to reach over here and grab with one hand and pull with the other or something like that. The jacket also has a little bit of reflectivity, but not very much. The first spot, right here, this Outdoor Research logo. The second spot is right here on the left cuff, this Pertex Shield Plus logo. Now these are great if you're going to run near any sort of traffic or anything like that, but one small knock if you do plan on wearing this in more urban settings or even more rural settings where there's just a car here or there where you definitely want some reflectivity is that there's no rear reflectivity, so make sure you really take that into account. Let's talk about durability for a second. Outdoor Research has what they call their infinite guarantee, which if you're like me and you want to really try to beat the hell out of something, could probably come in handy pretty quickly. Honestly, I've yet to see a point where I've questioned the durability of this. Maybe if you were to really yank on those pulls every now and then, they might start to wear out the elastic, but even then I would imagine that type of thing would be replaced. And certainly the 30 denier ripstop nylon fabric is really fantastic. If you're getting up in between rocks and you're really putting it down, you may sort of kind of begin to wear down the finish a little bit, but I can't see where that would be a huge thing because again, I would imagine that Outdoor Research would stand behind their guarantee. That's why they call it an infinite guarantee. Breathability is also a big thing for me. Now, I tend to be a very epic sweater. I like to put out a lot of sweat when I'm running or hiking or skiing or riding or whatever. And so being able to vent is really important. Now, this jacket does a nice job of venting things, being that waterproof, breathable membrane that everything is trying to be these days. And it does a good job of balancing that. However, this is one spot where I found it a little bit lacking, and that's that there are no vents effectively on this jacket. There are no pit zips, there are no back vents or anything like that. Now, of course, that would call into question the waterproofness if you were to add a vent like that, but if you have seam sealed and taped out zippers, it shouldn't be a big deal. So I would love to see this same exact jacket, but with perhaps a pit zip on each side to breathe a little bit more. Yes, adding a zipper or something like that would add a little bit of weight, but since this is only coming in at 6.4 ounces, I can imagine that it wouldn't be too much to add. The fit is fantastic for me, and this is a size large, which you can see see here, I'm trying to stand up on my toes to show you the fit. Comes down exactly where I would want it to. It fits very, very nicely. The movability is nice. My arms don't run out of sleeve over here. In fact, this is such a nice looking jacket that I would love to wear it casually. The only reason I don't is because there are no real pockets here. I'm not advocating for adding pockets there because it would add weight. It's not really necessary for this being a purely running jacket. I'm just saying that if you wanted to wear it casually, that would be something to consider. The final performance-oriented thing that I'll mention, I touched on this a little bit before, is the fact that this thing is so packable. I mean, it gets down into a really, really small ball and can be basically shoved anywhere. If you've got it with you in a pack, awesome. If you want to keep it in a car, awesome. It can go right in your glove box. This is a jacket that is lightweight, packable, and durable. It's going to really be able to take you the long haul. In fact, our friend Ginger Runner, Ethan Newberry, he wore this for the Cascade Crest 100, and it was just indispensable to him, keeping him warm up in some really, really quite cold conditions. The price tag on the Helium II jacket is also very nice considering what it is. Now, if you think you're going to get away with like a $60 jacket, that is not this. This is $159, but again, super high performance, super durable, infinite guarantee. And consider the lightweight and packability of this. $159 for something that's going to last you so long and have the backing of a company's guarantee like that is nothing to laugh at. That's a good price tag. And we may actually have found it for a little bit cheaper than that if you look down in the description. I think the Helium II is a jacket that everyone should have. It's certainly something that you can take along with you no matter what you're doing. It's a jacket that's going to be waterproof, lightweight, super packable, super durable. And again, I know I've said this 15 times in the last 10 seconds, that guarantee is pretty awesome. So definitely check it out. Now my question for you guys today is about price, so pay attention. When you see a jacket like this and you know how it can function, you know how packable and durable and waterproof and all that it is, where is your price point? Like, what are you willing to pay for something like that? Is $160 too high? Or for something that performs as well as this does, is $160 for something that you're going to take out for a long time going to be a price tag that you're comfortable with? Let's hear it in the comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and favorite it. We would really appreciate it. It means a lot. Also, if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, do so now by clicking that YouTube button right over there and following us on all of our social media outlets, which you can do right here: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, my personal Strava up there at the top. And as always, don't forget to visit Gearist.com for the headquarters of this lovely enterprise of ours. Also, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to email info@Gearist.com or just ask us in the comments down below or in any of our social outlets. Once again, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.